Hey guys, so happy belated Thanksgiving. It's now Saturday. This video will be going up tonight. It's really bright. Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. I know I did. I had a lot of, this is actually my second Thanksgiving today. I had to go visit some family over in Janesville, which is like an hour and a half away from where I live. Had a great Thanksgiving over there. Thursday had Thanksgiving here as well. So, hope you guys had a great week, Thanksgiving week. Hope you guys had a great vacation. Hope you guys are having a great weekend. So, well, you want to say hi? Nope, he wants food. So, a little explanation is due. I actually wanted to put out some Let's Play videos, or start to put out some Let's Play videos, and that's not going to happen, just for the fact that I don't have a proper setup for it anymore. The mic setup I used to have, it's getting older, it's aging, and the sound is coming out very scratchy and rusty. I don't like it. I actually get better audio from this camera than I do on the stuff that I actually used for Twitch and for video game streaming. Hi. But anyway, so for the time being, I won't be doing any video game based Let's Plays or any Let's Plays in general. That made no sense. It's late. I'm sorry. But yeah, there is something I did want to go over. I mentioned a couple times the Disney planning, and that's actually what I want to talk about in this video. So whenever I'm doing a Disney vacation, I always do some in-depth planning, and that's what this binder is for. I usually have a packet of stuff. This is the first year I'm actually being prepared and putting it in a binder. This one's for, it says fall 2019, but the trip has actually been changed to winter of 2018, so next year. Very excited. So in the little packet in the front, I usually carry around these. These are little cutouts, folded paper and cutouts of all of the, I don't think the camera's going to catch that too well, but these are all of the slot machine type things where you put the quarter in, or the penny in with 2 quarters and you get a crushed penny, that type of thing. These are maps for Epcot, Animal Kingdom, Disney Springs, Magic Kingdom, and Hollywood Studios. And I also have a sheet that has all of the parks. Really? Okay. This is a printout that I usually keep of all the park hours. I'm going to go ahead and compress this. This one actually doesn't matter though, because it is for December of this year. This is just to give me a rough estimate. Okay, so anyway, looking at going into next year. And then I'll go through and I'll make tabs for all of the stuff that I got. For instance, for here I have general information, I have budget information, I have flight and hotels. I have my, I'll separate the tabs into parks. I have Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Animal Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, and the last one I usually keep for tips and tricks. Not much actually goes in that section. I just needed something to fill up that tab. That's basically any tips or tricks for saving little money going to different restaurants compared to other restaurants, or doing some kind of shopping, stuff like that. That may end up saving you money or getting you high scores on some of the games, that kind of information. So getting into the Generals tab, the first thing I actually go through is, I think what everybody goes through, like maybe the week before they actually go on the trip, is the packing list. I'm really getting into making this extremely fun for myself and my friends and my family and anybody I help. So I'll add pictures to it and I'll make it Disney oriented. I'll have my documents, any park tickets, my driver's license, emergency numbers, copies of all the tickets and confirmations, medical and hygienic list, electronics, other, and then clothes. Another one I got into was the Disney World weather, and I found a really good list of all of the months and temperatures we're going to have for those, the average rainfall, yada yada, all that good stuff. Now getting into budgets, this one I've been kind of mastering myself for the past couple years, and I think I have a really good solid way for anyone who may be even a veteran going into it, or if you're new and you want to learn how to save up for a Disney trip. This is the way I usually do it, which is I separate the three big ones apart from everything, which are the cost of the hotel, the cost of the plane tickets, and the cost of the park passes. Once you have all three of those things paid for or paid off, then you could start moving on to the other things, which would be like the food, the souvenirs, and tips. Once you get the big three out of the way, the hotel, the plane tickets, and the park passes, that basically lets you know that you are definitely going to Disney World. Once those are set in stone, it's everything else could fall out. You have those three, you know for a fact that you will be there. You may not be able to eat or buy anything, but you'll be in Disney World nonetheless. Then I'll usually have a list of budget. I usually separate mine into hotel, airfare, park pass, food. The food is usually the stuff at the parks. Groceries, if I want to do stuff and bring it back to order from, I forgot which one I go through, but I usually order food down there and I'll have it shipped to the hotel when I get down there. Souvenirs, photo pass, which if you don't know what that is, I would look into it in Disney. If it's your first time, totally go for it. It's fun, it's enjoyable, it's a good way to get all your pictures. And then tips. I'll usually separate that into estimated amount and what I think it's going to cost, just to give me a rough ballpark estimate, and then I'll do the actual estimate over on the right. For flight and hotel, I put this in a little pouch just for now, but I'm going to 3-hole punch it in a little bit. Just the park map the map of the hotel rather, of where we're going to be staying. For this trip, I'm going to be staying in the Pop Century Resort. There is a ESPN youth thing going on that week, or the week that we're going, so I'm hoping to get, because I want to say the pool is actually around the 80s and 90s. I kind of want to get into the 50s, 60s, and 70s if possible, because they're further away from the actual pool. See if I can get that without the glare. But it's cool because the Pop Century, each one is based after a different century. So it's really interesting and really cool. I like the architecture of it. So any information I get for the hotel is stored in this section along with flight information. Flight information we don't have. Best time to get flight or to book your flights and to get passes or to get your plane tickets is 6 months out from the date that you're going. The 6-month date, and I think it's on Tuesdays. I could be mistaken with that one, but I want to say 6 months out and on Tuesdays. Tuesdays are the best days to get your flights booked. So any of that information will be in this section. Now for park information for Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Animal Kingdom, and Hollywood Studios, I don't have any information in these sections right now, and there's a reason for that. Being that we're still getting into the end of the season for Mickey's Very Merry Christmas and New Year's, I want to wait until January 1st, and then I'll start getting information for the parks, because that's when they're going to be swapping all their hours over, all their parade information, all their firework information, any shows that they're doing. Those will all switch over at the beginning of the year, so that's when I'll start drawing information from those, and I'll put them in these sections. And then, like I said, tips and tricks are going to be any kind of tips and tricks that you come across for saving money, for points in games. Like this one is Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin. Best places to sit for different rides. I'll have that in here as well as best places to sit for fireworks or for parades. There's always people out there looking for the best places to get the best pictures, to get the best deals. There are so many websites out there, so any information that you find on there, put it in this section. And that is my Disney planning. I'm currently watching the Notre Dame and Stanford game, but I wanted to make sure I got through all of my Disney planning stuff. That is me in a nutshell when it comes to Disney. I absolutely love Disney. I'm a huge fan of Disney. Some of the stuff they do, not a huge fan of, but those are just small little details in the grand scheme of things. That binder is real thin right now, like material wise, but by the end of, I would probably say 4 months out, 3 months out from the trip, I'll probably have close to 50, 60, 70 pages in there of the tips, of all the information I need. So it fills up pretty fast. Usually, I don't really plan a huge distance out from a trip. I'll usually start about a year and year and a half out. But a good tip too, money-wise, is that if you're just starting out and you think that Disney might be a little too expensive for you, it's not always the case. If you put aside $50 a month minimum, you're still getting a pretty chunk of change by the end of the year. Even if you were to bump that up to say $100, you're within a year you're looking at $1,200 that you can put towards a trip. Airfare is around $280 if you catch it at the right time. Park pass is usually around the $370 mark, and a hotel is usually around. You can get a value place for $800. You can go at a moderate for into $1,000 up to $1,200, maybe a little more, and then you get up into the higher class ones, which are a lot more money. But just setting, I mean, all that alone comes out to a little less than $1,500. So if that's the case, and you're able to set aside $50 to $100 a month, within a year you'll have a pretty good chunk of change to actually go up to Disney World, and that's only with a year. My first trip we planned way back when I was in, because I'm 29 now, and the first time I went, I want to say I was around 10 to 11, and way back then when I was in 5th or 6th grade, we saved up for 2 years because my family couldn't afford to go every single year. Not that we're doing that now. I think we're still hitting that every 2-year mark just to play it safe. But we can't afford to go every year or a few times a year. So planning out the 2 years in advance for people who are just getting into it is a fantastic way to do it, and I highly recommend it. But yeah, if you guys have any other questions, make sure to leave them in the comment section below and I'll get to them. So yeah, there's that. Alright, so it's actually Sunday now. That video was supposed to go up, or the Disney stuff was supposed to go up Saturday, but I wasn't happy with how the Pixel 2 recorded using the front-facing screen, so I think anytime I do anything with the Pixel, it's definitely going to have to be the rear-facing camera, which is going to make it a little difficult. I can do time lapses, I can do everything else perfectly fine with it. It's just the front-facing one isn't the best quality, so I kind of had to go away from that. Stepped outside today. Beautiful day. Absolutely beautiful day. Here, let me show you. About 49 degrees. No wind. Beautiful day. So, not too much going on today. I got a bunch of art projects I want to work on. As well as just cleaning. For some reason, I seem to be cleaning so much during the past couple weeks, but it seems to really help with stress from work. So, yeah. And now that it's actually past Thanksgiving, we got the Christmas decorations up. Let's see what we got here. Got some candy canes. Got some signs. Got to get the Mickey Mouse signs out. I think we got another one over here. Got some snowmen. We got some deer underneath the pine trees. And we got some Christmas lights going up. So, yeah. I am... Okay. Sorry. Big into the Christmas spirit. If there's one thing I love more than Disney, it's probably Christmas. For the actual feeling of Christmas, not giving gifts, getting gifts, but the actual feeling behind Christmas. I absolutely love it. So yeah, I'm going to get going with some chores and some painting, knock that out. But hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out. You want to do some Disney planning? Hey, you're not spoiled.